Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Buckley. I have the honor of serving as president of Ntid. We meet here today in what's called Allie's Place. Allie is a colleague who passed away a few years ago who was very committed to student success. And we've continued that tradition of focusing on students and their success. This year, we're celebrating our 45th anniversary of service to the nation. We have more than 7,000 alumni working in the American workforce, contributing to the economy and changing the world. One of those alumni I want to recognize today is here with us is recently awarded Dr. Jessica Kukulik, who defended her dissertation last week. Jessica, congratulations. Senator, Jessica's behind the camera. Come on up. Jessica grew up near Syracuse, New York, decided to continue her career here, started as a faculty member and is committed. That's the reason you have the orange. You need to stay.
What about for the Tigers?
But congratulations, Jessica. Senator Schumer, on behalf of the faculty, the staff, and the students of Ntid, we thank you for believing in Ntid. We thank you for believing in our mission, and we thank you for fighting for us. Often I have the opportunity to see the senator when he's speaking and traveling, and if he notices a deaf person in the audience, what does he do? He always goes like this. It's an indication of how much he values us and cares about us. Thank you, Senator, for your support. With that, I'm going to ask our president, Dr. Bill Destler, who continues to be a wonderful supporter, to come up and formally introduce the senator. Bill.
Thank you, Jerry. And allow me to congratulate you on your leadership of Ntid through these challenging times. And believe me, he has worked awfully hard to get us to this point. You know, Ntid has had a significant and wonderfully positive impact on our RIT and on the greater Rochester community, as he just said, for more than 45 years, and that impact continues to grow. It's true that once you've experienced Ntid as I have, you never look at the world the same way again. You notice when captions are missing on television or when the captioner messes up. When interpreters are present at events, and you smile when you notice that our bank tellers and restaurant servers communicate in sign language to their customers on occasion. And I learned, actually, that when we have fire drills here, instead of just having the sort of loud sirens, they have strobe lights to wake up the deaf students for fire drills. I was introduced to that when I was invited to stay in the dorms for a few days by students. And they arranged a fire drill for me.
Did he have fun?
I had a lot of fun, yeah. It's this kind of impact on individuals and the economic impact that a major federal program such as Ntid makes on the community that makes the support we receive from Washington so important. And our honored guest today, New York State Senior Senator Chuck Schumer, has played a critical role in ensuring the necessary support and funding for this very special institution. As Vice Chair of the Senate Democratic Conference and Chair of the Senate Democratic Policy and Communications Center, Senator Schumer is a national leader with significant roles in shaping national policy. And at the same time, he remains a tenacious advocate for Rochester, for RIT, and for Ntid. His advocacy during the recent negotiations on the 2014 appropriations bill is the most recent, but only the most recent example of his tremendous dedication to our causes and our needs, the kind of work he does every day on behalf of all of New Yorkers. He's a tenacious, persistent, and relentless in the best possible way. I wish they'd say that about me. When it comes to supporting what he believes in, and Ntid and RIT are so fortunate to be among his priorities, please join me in a warm RIT Ntid welcome for our great friend, the Honorable Chuck Schumer.
Well, thank you very much to both Jerry Buckley and Bill Dessler, and most of all, the students and faculty at NTID for joining us here today. And I will say, I love you. You are the greatest. Thank you. Well, we just finished the appropriations process in Congress, and for the first time in a few years, we have a firm budget and appropriations in place for this fiscal year. The way Congress came to agree on a budget gives me hope that we can come to agreement on a whole lot of other things. For the first time, Democrats and Republicans came together. They didn't just stay in their corners and say, unless we get it done our way, there's going to be no way. And we got something very good done. And lots of good things for the Rochester Finger Lakes area. We first do a lot of harmful cuts. There was just cutting across the board. Whether it was a wasteful program or a valued program, it was just slash, slash, slash. That's been eliminated. And second, we were able to get funding increases to agencies and universities that rely on federal funding. And I come here today to Rochester because Rochester came out as one of the most victorious cities in the funding bill in the whole state, in part because you have great institutions like NTID and RIT and U of R and so many other great educational institutions. We're gathered here today at one of the biggest beneficiaries of those funding increases, the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, one of the greatest institutions in our country, period. Yeah. NTID is well known as the nation's best school for the deaf and hearing impaired. It has a profound impact on the lives of its students, and a higher percentage of you go to productive careers with good pay than almost any other similar institute in the country. Is that great for America? Not just good for you, but great for America. But last year, federal support for NTID was slashed under the sequestration, and you had to make painful layoffs and reductions in the programs NTID loves to offer. The good news is now, with this new budget, NTID will receive an additional $4 million in just passed funding, over $66 million for the full fiscal year. And that is great news. So what does this $4 million mean? It means NTID will not have to lay off faculty or staff positions this year, nor, and this is heartbreaking, because of sequestration, there were qualified applicants who were turned down. That's a heartbreaking thing. Last year, employment on the faculty and staff had a drop from 565 to 530. That will not happen again. The funding will stabilize employment, which due to funding decreases, there had to be a voluntary retirement program in the retirement of 22 faculty and staff. And had we not come to a budget agreement, it would have been another 22 this year. It would have been horrible. It also means that NTID will be able to maintain the programs that enrich the lives of students. Study abroad. I don't know how many of you are going to go abroad, but bonjour. I was wondering how you'd sign that one. So there'll be off-campus internships, extended summer courses, and more. It also means NTID will be able to purchase the state-of-the-art technology, renovate outdated facilities. Of course, you need to stay on the cutting edge. You need to purchase new equipment every few years. Thank God equipment is getting better and technology is getting better. But if you don't have it here, what good is it? So we can get that. And for example, one example, the funding enables NTID to move forward with a project to renovate space in the building into the new home of the Information and Computing Studies Department with modern labs and classroom space. That is the future, and it's great for us. And most importantly for the students, the increase in funding will allow NTID to keep tuition affordable this year. Tuition increases are the most likely offset to a decline in federal funding. So the fact that we're getting more money keeps tuition down, and I know how important it is to you. Now, President Buckley is keen on offering a world-class education at an affordable price. So I know NTID's first inclination has been how we can secure more money and pass those dollars on to the students in forms of reduced tuition and more services. Studies show, this should make you all so proud and make NTID proud, that over the lifetime, NTID graduates have higher employment rate, higher earnings, and rely on less federal programs than those deaf or hard of hearing students who withdraw or earn degrees from other institutions. So this is good, not just for the people who attend, it's good for all of America, because when you do well, we do well. And one other thing, the fact that we have a world-class institution in Rochester helps the whole Rochester economy. It means Rochester's a special place which people want to come to. It does good, what the economists would call externalities, things beyond the actual services provided here in terms of the reputation of Rochester and bringing people here. Now, the Center for Governmental Research studied NTID's impact, found that NTID is responsible for more than 1,000 jobs, direct and indirect spillover jobs, and $50 million in labor income. Well worth what we're doing. So I promise you here, I'm going to always fight to keep federal support for NTID. As long as Chuck Schumer is senator, you have a friend who will fight for you. Now, NTID, you know, as I said, it was a good budget for Rochester, not just for NTID, but for the rest of RIT, for U of R, for Federal Head Start here in Rochester, for Harris Radio, for so many different companies. The budget is going to mean more jobs in Rochester, and that is a great thing. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit. Here at RIT, there's an exciting opportunity for the college to continue to do research work it's been doing for the Navy. The Navy has said if the federal appropriations bill passed, they could consider moving forward on a new contract with RIT worth over $1 million. RIT has been a leader in helping the military modernize its equipment. The Navy contract that's currently under evaluation because of the bill's passage would build on that reputation. Now, here in Rochester, we have something called Action for a Better Community. That helps. It's a significant local employer. It helps break the cycle of poverty. It is one of the best Head Start programs in the country. And they will be able, since Head Start went up in the budget, they're going to be able to get more money, more jobs, and treat more kids. The appropriations bill also includes funding for more radio procurement, tactical radio procurement. And guess who's the number one supplier of these kinds of radios in the whole world is Harris Radio, which employs about 2,400 people here in Rochester. Maybe some of you will get jobs there after you graduate. We got more money for the Tiger grants. That's transportation grants. Last year, I was able to get $17 million to help fill in Rochester's inner loop. The year before, we got Tiger money for the train station. So this is, Louise Slaughter worked hard on that. So this is going to really help with our new transportation projects in Rochester. And we also have the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, which will receive an increase. We need money to clean up the environmental hotspots on Lake Ontario, poor water quality, fish deaths, and you all know the beach closures, which closed some of our best beaches so many days. There's now going to be money to clean up the beaches so that doesn't happen. We also have money for something called CDBG, Midtown Plaza. We'll have some more help. And we were able, I don't know why it's not here in my notes, or I just must have skipped it, at your fellow institution, U of R, we got more money for the laser lab, which is the foremost laser lab in the country and throws off jobs and brings companies to the Rochester area. So the budget was a home run for Rochester. Whether you're here at NTID or over at U of R or at Harris Radio or in Head Start or building roads in our area, building Midtown Plaza, all of this is great for the Rochester area, and I look forward to continuing to work to help NTID and Rochester, two of my favorite places in the whole world. Thank you very much. Great.
Thank you, Senator.
Should I take questions from the press?
Sure, but first we got-
Oh, great. Oh, good.
Senator, as a small sign of our appreciation for your ongoing support, we're giving you a history book on NTID.
Oh, great.
And of course, the national NTID hat.
Excellent. Beautiful.
There you go, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.